Okay, so the next question is, what is self-government?
Wow, it's as if you knew. Anyway, yeah, so self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. So what that means is you understand cause and effect in relationships, not just in scientific means or things like that, but if I am angry at my children, they don't trust me, right? That's a cause and effect thing. Or if a child lies to their parents, then the parents feel like they can't trust the child's judgment in many things, not just in the one area where they lied. People don't understand that. In fact, people don't understand that when they emotionally dump on somebody enough that that person starts to withdraw from them, not get
Mhm.
closer to them. They want someone to get close to them, but they're actually pushing them away. They don't understand how people work in relationships. So that's cause and effect. And then the second part, possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them, is where a person does the brave thing of examining themselves all the time and saying,
Mhm.
wait, am I doing what I ought to be doing, and who am I becoming, who I ought to be, and if not, I need to make a change. Now these things can be taught even to little ones, even to toddlers. Even though their brains, their little prefrontal cortexes are very small, you can start training them to examine themselves, make better choices, learn cause and effect, and honor parental authority and have a good bond with family and parents. You can teach all of that even when they just have basic communication. So I've seen people with children age 2, my own children, by the time they were age
Mhm.
2, could do all 4 of the 4 basic skills that are taught in those children's books that I held up a moment ago. So it's really a liberating thing for families and relationships to learn how to problem solve in any situation by making a plan and using skills. And basically, that's what self-government is.
Okay, and how parents attain that level of self-government? What are the steps or the process?
Yeah, okay, so that's a really great question. In fact, you hit on something really good. And that is that if a child is going to learn self-government, the parents have to learn self-government too, right?
Mhm.
They have to master themselves, which
Mhm.
means the parent has to decide that it's okay to take a good, honest look at themselves and say, what am I doing that's wrong? Instead of making
Mhm.
excuses, which many parents make excuses, and they say, well, I'm doing that because they just don't listen to me, or they're a little brat, or, the things that parents might say, which make us sad when we ever hear those things. But then people just laugh it off instead of nurturing an environment where a parent says, I'm really struggling with this. I know that I have a fault in it. I've got to find a skill to handle myself as I'm parenting my children. So when
Mhm.
the parent learns certain skills, and we teach 4 basic skills to children, these
Mhm.
these 4 basic skills are for parents too. So they are following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. And each one of these 4 basic skills, parents have to use all the time with each other. I mean, you just think, if your spouse wants a different car than you, then what do you have to do? Disagree appropriately with them about it, right? Or if someone makes something for dinner you don't like, well, then you have to accept the no answer and eat it anyway, right? If someone cuts you off in traffic, you accept the no answer. You don't get angry and stick your hands out the window and start making complaints. No, because that's not the recipe to happiness. And when a
Mhm.
person is in control of themselves, it's a recipe to happiness. So the parents have to learn those 4 skills, and the children get to learn these 4 skills. And each of them has a skill set attached to it. So for instance, this book here, Porter Earns a Quarter, teaches the skill accepting no answers and accepting criticism. It's the same skill set for each one of those things. And there's
Mhm.
4 steps to that. So the 4 steps are: you look at the person, so you establish contact with a person. You keep a calm face, voice, and body. That means you have to explain to your child, what does calm look like? What does calm not look like? You know, and what does a calm voice sound like? And what does a calm voice not sound like? Mom, 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 mom. That is not a calm voice, right?
Okay. Mm.
And then you have to explain what a calm body looks like and what it doesn't look like. So they have to know the difference. So number one, look at the person. Number two, have a calm face, voice, and body. Number three, say okay, meaning that you are okay with the parent giving you a no answer, or with something in your life not going your way, or if you can't find your favorite toy, or if there's a boundary line you shouldn't cross. All these things relate to no answers.
Okay.
So you're okay, you say okay, or you can always disagree appropriately. That's one of those other 4 basic skills. It's taught in this book, Paige Takes the Stage. So then step number 4 is drop the subject, which means you don't think about it anymore. You don't talk about it anymore. You don't go to daddy and ask because mommy already told you no. You don't complain or whine. You don't sulk and pout. You don't get angry. You don't hit the walls. You don't throw your toys. You don't hit your sister or brother. These are all things that are, when you drop the subject, you don't do any of those things. So each one of those 4 basic skills has a skill set, just like that accepting no answer skill that I just talked about has a skill set. So parents have to learn those 4 skills. They need to learn 5 teaching styles. So 5 different ways that we teach our children how to solve their problems. And they need to learn how to do it in a calm way. So they've got to have the right kind of tone and the right kind of structure. Those are 2 key elements for having an environment where a person learns self-government. So tone is what it feels like in your home, what it feels like when you're correcting your child. Does it feel safe and comfortable? Does it feel bonded? Do you feel closer to your child during and after a correction than you even did before? If so, then you're probably doing it right. But if you feel like you have to recover from correcting the child and the child needs time to get over it, then probably you need some improvement in that area. So anyway, we teach parents 5 different ways that they can help their children solve the problems and can stop problems from happening in the first place. Then we have meetings that parents can have with their children to get everybody on board and checking up on how they're doing on their self-government and on their relationships and on their education and everything. So it's a whole program. I mean, it's a whole course. People can take little pieces of it, or they can put the whole thing in practice. So some people do, little pieces. They'll use some 4 basic skills and then move on from there. Some people think, no, I've got to stop the tantrums and I've got to be able to do it in a calm way.